With restrictions continuing to ease, Nightlife and Sunday Staples are working on getting their customers back in a safe manner. When news of the shutdown first hit, Keith Benjamin, the owner of Uptown Social, says he, like many others along King Street, did not know what to do with his bar.
Some folks around town very successfully started doing takeout. Really just wasn't the right time for us, and we wanted to make sure that obviously it was safe enough to go about opening our doors again, and I think that the folks that did it did a phenomenal job doing it. We just wanted to kind of wait it out.
Benjamin says when they did eventually roll out some takeout options, it was only for one weekend before the governor's orders allowed them to reopen their rooftop and eventually what they would like to call Uptown Social 2.0.
Certainly not the Uptown Social that we all knew right before the shutdown, but it's working up to hopefully the point where we can go back to that version of ourselves.
For now, that new version of Uptown Social will be a calmer and more controlled environment that will have below the 50% occupancy levels, focusing primarily on their food, service, and some light acoustic music.
Starting tomorrow, there'll be a QR code where folks can sit down at their table, zap into the QR code, and they'll see our menu plus all of our sanitation practices on our website.
Some of those practices being constant hand washing, masks being worn by all employees, and temperature checks. As for the long lines that typically run along King Street, Benjamin says last weekend they discouraged waiting by taking down numbers and asking patrons to go for a walk in the meantime, alerting them when their table or seat was available.
It's not a perfect system, and as more and more folks come to our doorway, we're going to have to adapt a little bit differently.
Adapting being a main word for the industry during this time.
You know, sadly, the days of the big bands and the DJs are still kind of back in the past, but we really cannot wait to get back to doing that in the future.
As for a set date, Uptown sees itself returning to a pre-COVID-19 time. They say they're not entirely sure, but they have faith in the governor, Mayor Tecklenburg, and Chief Reynolds. It will be when the time is right. In downtown Charleston, I'm Kate Prestak. Count on 2.